Here's Mark Smith. It's been a long time since you've been with us, isn't it, Mark? No?
Quite a bit, yeah. I think it was a year, isn't it?
Over a year now.
Yeah.
Before we get to chatting about what's been happening in the new album, how is Bricks?
She's alright, yeah. She just had gastroenteritis for about a week. She just sort of cleared up yesterday.
But I interrupted some kind of tour she was doing, promo tour or something, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. She only did ended up doing 1 or 2 days of it.
Yeah.
We get very mad, you know, the record shops. They're trying to pressurise her into it, yeah. So that stopped her going.
So was she going doing some kind of signing sessions, was she?
No, you do things like you go to a town and then you do like 3 local radio stations and you do go in a shop, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the bit I don't like about it is you got to go and meet the managers of shops, you know. Who the hell do you think they are, you know? It's not like an in-store, you know. I mean, they're fun, you know. You sort of meet people who are buying records.
So it's not like sitting there and signing like these book signing things. It's not one of those.
Well, that's what I think they're better than doing. I mean, what, you know, who wants to meet a record shop manager?
Well, quite. If any record shop managers take exception to that, they can ring us and tell us. Anyway, if you want to ring in now and put a question to Mark, you can do so on Blackburn 583. I think we didn't meet on the release of the last album. I think it was the album before that, the Wonderful and Frightening World.
I brought a 2p in the last one, I remember.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nation Savings Grace. Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Blimey.
It's over a year then, isn't it?
Dear me, how time flies, isn't it?
Yeah, and you look younger every day, Steve.
Well, I must say
New wig.
I must say the same about you, actually. Because I was very impressed on reading the NME a few weeks ago to see these very kind of glitzy portraits of you and Bricks there. I thought you must have been very proud of that. I thought you were really good.
Well, it's a change, doesn't it? NME usually sets me up. Did you?
I would have
one of his throats.
Oh, I thought those were really good. I know Bricks was really pleased with them, wasn't he?
A good guy, a good bloke. He's Bledin, butcher, Australian, is right.
And where else? Somewhere else happened a few. Oh yeah, I was surprised to reading a copy of The Wire and Mark Sinker doing an interview with you.
Yeah,
and putting it in The Wire.
That was good. That yeah.
It was because something I've actually come to realise over listening to Fall stuff and reading stuff about you over the past year or so is like the band's totally, or you totally kind of live with contradiction all the time. So I suppose you quite relish that being in the Wire in between Dizzy Gillespie and whoever it was.
Well, that's Cook, the editor. You know, he says we're the only rock band in the world. You know, doing anything approaching what he sees in freeform jazz. And what do you see in freeform jazz? I can't see anything in it.
Well, I mean, it's nearest as ever been to rockabilly, I suppose, in the White. Anyway, this we'll play some of this new album now, Bend Sinister.
Right.
And having only heard it once, I haven't picked up on the lyrics too much, but I've certainly picked up on the sound, and it seems much more kind of direct album as far as the sound's concerned than the last one, yeah.
We did about half of it direct onto disc, onto master tape, rather than mixing it.
Yeah. Because
I found that, you know, that's what I've always wanted to do. I'd like to get it to the point where we're just recording with one big mic, you know. So this track you're going to play is done like that. Did it in Abbey Road. Like, instead of mixing, you just go right onto master tape, you know.
Well, that's been really effective because, I mean, I've only heard it once, as I say. And
it sounds better. It sounds better. Yeah. It sounds louder and more, you know, it's a lot livelier.
That's right, and it's got an edge to it. It's like...
you get the bass in it, which gets lost when they cut it down and mix it, you know, and put it through 36 bloody tracks and stick it all back together again, you know. So like, I always compare it to, it's like writing a book and ripping it up and trying to stick it all back together again. That's what a lot of problem of music is today, you know. Yeah, I mean, I think there's also things about how they're written and stuff like that, but as well as how it's been recorded that makes it much more direct, but we'll check that out later. So this track's Bournemouth Runner, which is rather an intriguing title, isn't it? Yeah, it's about this lad who used to follow us all over the country trying to steal our backdrop, you know. And he finally got away with it, bleeding Bournemouth. Can't believe it. Hearing that. Oh, we're just chatting away now whilst the record was playing on and finishing. That's Mr. Pharmacist. I was saying to you, Mark, a couple of weeks ago on the phone, I was really impressed by your voice quality on that, but apparently you had a bit of a cold at the time. Yeah, chest infection, yeah.
Do you think you could arrange it to have a chest infection every time you do a single?
Well, yeah, it usually does happen when I'm recording. The last one I did it on was Cruisers Creek and Barmy. I had a real bad one. Get one around recording time, which is October.
I thought you were just trying to kind of achieve an authentic kind of rockabilly sound, you know that.
Well, if you listen closely, you can hear all the phlegm sort of rattle around in the chest. It's really good.
I think somebody in the animation said it sounds like you were singing into a sock. Something like that. Well, you could perhaps try that in future if you haven't got a cold, I don't know.
Like to see them do better.
Come on, whoever it is. That was a cover. That's an unusual Fall thing anyway, because it's a cover version, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah.
How do you dig that one up?
I've had it years. It's a compilation I got in Germany of the record was mastered right off singles, apparently 45s and stuff.
Mm. It was like a Nuggets thing, was it, or a Pebble?
Sort of, yeah, but it's called the Mind Rockers. It was like
too much. Eh?
It was obscuro, completely. Yeah. I mean, we can't even find who the publisher is for this, and things like that.
Too bad.
No, it's just like trying to work out who to send the money to and stuff.
Yeah, I know, these terrible things, yeah. But it's funny, who was it, the band who recorded that?
The other half, who sort of split up and went to become, what they called, some really famous sort of Frisco group. Blue Cheer.
Blue Cheer. But there seems to be a lot of those American bands who recorded one brilliant single, don't they? And,
yeah, and they were a lot better than the Grateful Dead and all that sort of nonsense that was around all the time. But the original of that is fantastic, actually. It's really good.
It is like an OTT drug message, really, isn't it?
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
No, I just think it's about your local chemist,
Do you?
And vitamins.
And vermins?
Vitamins, yeah. I'm on a bit multivitamin kick.
Oh, really? Well, we're going to give away some stuff now. What we've got to give away is 3 adult net 12 inches and 3 Mr. Pharmacist 12 inches. And you've got something else, Mark, haven't you?
Well, I've got an obscure American T-shirt of the Fall's last tour. We had this design sort of done, and the T-shirt company rejected it wholesale. So I've still got one of them at home. It's pretty good. It's a face of a cat, and it sort of lights up in the dark. It's a really good T-shirt. What's it did it? Savage Pencil did it, the cartoonist.
Right. So to Mark's sort of a question to give away the T-shirt, right?
Right.
Which is?
Name 3 Fall drummers.
3 Fall drummers, right?
Past or present or whatever.
Or not future. No suggestions.
Well, yeah, you can add one on if you want. Look, it's that Ginger Baker.
So 3 Fall drummers, and the other question is about another Fall cover version, which was Rolling Danny. So what we want to know is, to get one of these 12 inches, is who did the original version of Rolling Danny, and you can ring Tommy on Blackburn 583. Who's also taking questions if you want to ring some questions into Mark. I've got a couple here, Mark. One from Tom in Accrington, and he says, don't you think it's a shame that there are bands sounding very like the Fall, i.e., I mean, you can give a long list, I suppose, but he says i.e. Bogshed. And the Fall perhaps now seem to be getting lost in a morass of Fall sound-alikes. I've seen you in print about this quite a few times, Mark.
That's a good point, actually, yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't know. We don't have any problem because we can always. Most of the sound-alikes, I think, sound like Fall circa 81, 82. They all sound like. In 2 years, they'll sound like Fall 84, 85. They're always well behind.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't. I mean, some of them have took it and used it. Well, I mean, I think Half Man, Half Biscuit. I think the Fall influence is dead there, but I think it's positive. It's the ones I don't like is where some. I mean, I've heard some records. I mean, man, I hear 4 Fall songs, they got one riff's one song, the vocals are another song, Don't know, I can't see the point of it, really.
Do you get much feedback from bands like this? I mean, who obviously must have been listening to you?
The other thing is that once they get into a position where they're bringing out records, they deny it all, they can't deny that they're over influenced, But I'm used to it now, I've been used to it since, 1979.
Yeah.
A lot of bands go further back that were Fall influenced, I mean, you talk to somebody like Cope, and he said Teardrops are always Fall influenced, but I mean, he's prepared to admit it. People admit it, I don't mind. It's the clever swines who go like, yeah, no, used to go around going, the Fall are an ordinary rock band, and we're great and all that, and you go see yeah, no, and it's like a bloody pathetic, impersonation of the Fall, really was.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting not comparison, but an interesting band to bring up, because I mean they went for like 18 months, 2.5 years or something, and didn't get. And they were looking for. It seemed bizarre because they were looking for some kind of crossover thing or whatever, because they weren't successful, so they like packed it in.
Well, yeah, right, and they were slagging us off for not having any credibility. Yeah, and right, the minute they find that they have to starve for a year or so, they don't like it.
Right.
Go back to bloody mummy and daddy, don't they?
Well, there we are. Chartered accountants ghetto. Here's another one here, which kind of tacks onto that. I'm not quite sure I agree with this, but I'm putting the question from Ian in Burnley. He says, don't you think the Fall are being drawn towards the American rock sound they set out apparently to go away from?
American rock sound?
Yeah. Well, I can't explain the question, but obviously this chap, I mean, I suppose like with Mr. Pharmacist and maybe a cover of a American garage rock group or something like that, and maybe obviously with Bricks being in the band now and her input, I suppose that's what he's looking at.
Yeah, I mean, well, I always tried to get a clear American sort of guitar sound in the band since it started.
Mm.
I mean, I don't like the sound of American rock now, but I mean, I like a lot of American rock. Rock and roll especially.
Yeah, I don't know. Certainly over the past 12 months, 2 years, listening to American bands, they seem to have a lot more energy and a lot more ideas, and a lot of British bands. I shouldn't be saying this on air, I like playing this stuff, but I mean, if I've looked at this kind of stuff that we've played on the programme over the past couple of years, I think most of my favourite stuff has been Americans, because they seem to have more one-off weirdos, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the thing about America is you're either overground or you're underground, and you've no really middle ground there, which is quite healthy in a way. If you don't sell 500,000 records in America, you're nothing. So it keeps bands. Whereas bands here can be very alternative for about 2 years. Then the next thing they're on top of the pops, and they're a pop group. And that's about it.
I mean, I was thinking particularly of America has more of the likes of people like Tav Falco and Eugene Chadbourne, and even people like who are still considered to be kind of vaguely underground, like Tom Waits, even though he's a lot credible. They have Captain Beefheart, they have people like that who've been going years and years, keep on going on the kind of same tack and punching it out. Yeah. And in England, it always seems to move towards credibility, as you see, and
and
shipping units.
It's economically hard, to keep it going.
Yeah. And the track we're going to play next from the album, first time I heard it, I thought, blimey, this is like a surf guitar sound on this one, which is R.O.D., yeah?
Yeah, it's very like, I've got a Link Ray album actually with me.
Right. Oh, so we'll play a track after it then?
Yeah, it sounds like, I dug it up, it sounds like Jack the Ripper.
Right, well...
Link Ray, actually.
Well, we'll stick Jack the Ripper on...
right,
after this one. So this is a Fall, and the opening track from the new album, R.O.D.
This is why I ripped it off.
Right, you were talking... we were talking before about the album, and I was saying how it was like a direct feel, and you were talking about how it was recorded. I was thinking more specifically about the writing, and the instrumentation. As I said, I hadn't listened to the vocals all that much because I've only listened to it once, so I just heard the sound. But there's a lot of that kind of stuff in it's kind of direct guitar attack, and the track we're going to hear in a minute, it almost sounds like a beatbox entry, the US 80s, 90s. Mm-hmm. It's so it's not just kind of the recording technique. The songs themselves seem much more direct. The material itself seems much more direct on this album to me. Yeah.
I mean, well, we're getting to the point, where we have the luxury of all the writers. It's really sort of coming to fruition. Like Bricks is throwing in tunes, like Simon Rogers was throwing in tunes, and Craig was getting hit quite a hot patch, So we've got this great choice of all these different stuff. I mean, that's why we did Pharmacist, because I thought, well, all this stuff is so varied and sort of it's quite dark, a lot of it. It sounds light, but it's the writing is very dark, and it's quite dark structures, and. So I thought we need something like Pharmacist just to make it a bit easier to get into. I think something sort of straight out sort of rock thing. Yeah,
I mean, how does that actually work that now amongst the Fall? I mean, the writing side of it. I mean, in practice, how does it operate? You said everybody's doing kind of input, but does it start from you writing stuff? Basically?
Yeah. I mean, the lyrics, and I do a bit of the music as well. I mean, I sort of have the say-so for the music. But what I'm saying is that I've now got a choice, I mean, I've got stuff I can write myself, music ideas I've got, and I can get Simon coming to me with like a perfectly written piece, of rock music or rap music or something, you know, because he's like, he can do it, you know. And then you got Craig coming forward with these sort of weird tunes, and I can combat in them and that, things like that, you know. It's just like a really good position to be in.
Well, Simon Sam must have made quite a difference to the writing side, because he's
he doesn't do a lot of writing, but he's made a difference with the band, because he's like accomplished, you know. Like I've got him doing a lot of primitive things that he sort of would never dream of doing, and sometimes hates doing, you know.
Yeah.
Like on Lucifer over Lancashire, I've just got him banging one of these little Tandy drum machines going all the way through, you know. Sort of.
Yeah, we'll hear that later on, but that's almost like a return to former obsessions, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lucifer over Lancashire. It's like going back to the late 70s or...
I was trying to get more of a sinister sound. I wanted the vocal really to be rockabilly, that's all, really. I mean, it's okay, I'm sure we can do it better. I might even re-record it using... I'd like to have a real, like, sort of dub bass on it and stuff like that.
I mean, there's all sorts that the Fall can kind of spring out of on the instrumental side, the sound side, and that's one of them. I mean, just immediately listen to some of the riffs and music on the album. I mean, you could almost take like a dub version of this particular album. It's really quite good, you know.
Yeah, but we're thinking of getting the bloke out of Yellow to remix US 80s, 90s. That might be a good laugh.
Why not get Sherwood to do it?
That's an idea, isn't it? But I haven't got 3 months to spare.
Oh, come on now, Mark. That's one thing a lot of people don't realise, that Adrian did some work, didn't he, with the Fall?
For sure, on Slates, yeah.
On Slates. In fact, he's credited on there, so Fall fans should know that Sherwood worked with Smith a while ago. You haven't got 3 months to spare, have you not? Oh, so that's a possibility, is it then?
Well, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because a Fall dub album, I think, will be quite good. That like Lucifer over Lancashire, was that a kind of newspaper thing that originated that, a newspaper article? Because
no, that newspaper article was a local story about the doctor and that. But now I was stuck for the cover, so I was doing the cover for the back actually, and I was stuck for something, you know, to do, and this sort of free newspaper came through the door, and it was just perfect. Exactly the same moment, you know.
I mean, free newspapers are wonderful things, aren't they?
Oh yeah, exercising trash writing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like Find the News, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you needn't actually read anything, need you, for a kind of to write songs?
Bin,
You could just kind of extract all this garbage from...
You make Viz look like tame or something.
Right, we were talking about the different sounds on the album, and I think this kind of typifies it, the US... Is it the full title, US 80s, 90s?
That's right, yeah.
What's this one about, Mark?
Oh, it's just like Impressions of America last time, weren't they?
And certainly the backing track has it's almost like a hip-hop intro to it, isn't it?
Right, yeah, which just sort of fits in with what the music is sort of going down now over there.
Yeah, so we'll hear it now. This is US 80s, 90s, opens up the second side, yeah?
Yeah.
Track, because it's far too much. That's Walking Seeds. Coincidentally, a single brought in by Mark, because you rate that one, Mark.
I think it's the best thing I've heard for a while. Not that particular track, the other side, I mean, but it's really good. Never
got anywhere in the indie charts, even.
No, they don't seem to have it covered at all.
Yeah. I think that might be something to do with good old Jeff down at Probe Records. His baby being
this is what I heard.
Half man, half biscuit, and gone to earth at the moment.
Oh, really? Yeah, there it is.
And, well, to me, I mean, The Walking Seas could do with a push, because...
That Tantric Wipeout on the other side is the best song I've heard in, well, a year.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, you can see where they. Well, I mean, I love it. I mean, they sent us the tape when they did it, and they did actually when they sent us the tape, they did a version of Black Sabbath's Iron Man.
Great.
As well, which was totally over the top. And we played that, and we played them all on tape when it came along. But they're good to see, and the only trouble is, and I think this is obviously something you must have come across a while ago. When you see them in these kind of tacky holes. You know, and the PA's no good, and it's kind of falling apart. And you could do with something like extra. I mean, okay, a lot of people say, well, it adds to the ambience, and this is how they should be seen. But, you know, they're always having sound problems and all this kind of stuff.
Maybe get them to play with us. Yeah. Sort them out. So, get them running like a true military unit.
SS Panzer Division Attack Force. Right, so your Walking Seeds could definitely tour with the Fall, you reckon?
Well, we are throwing it around, yeah.
Okay, good enough. I'm conscious we haven't had a reminder of this competition, which we vaguely started and never bothered about, you know. It's a bit like radio in Chicago, is this? You know, you just ramble on for a few hours. We were giving away a T-shirt that Mark brought back from America because the company wouldn't have it printed up because of one reason or another. I didn't think it was saleable enough, so it's a rare. It's an arcane full image there on it. And the question that Mark attached to that to win this T-shirt was name 3 Fall drummers. Past, present and maybe future, but you can only have one future one. And we're also giving away a bunch of Adult Nets 12-inch singles and Mr. Pharmacist 12-inch singles. And the question attached to that, well, the Fall haven't done many cover versions. They brought out one a couple of singles ago, which was Rolling Danny, who did the original version of that, so you got to look back into the 50s for that one. Hey, do we know the right answer to this, Fenny? Yeah, definitely. We know it's okay, because sometimes we ask questions we don't know the answers to, but there's nothing wrong with that. This next track we're going to hear from the album, Mark, is what drew you to Terry Waite's activities to write about it?
I don't know. He's just he's a very impressive guy, who flies around and does absolutely nothing. I was quite took by that. But actually, I wrote it. I were in the studio and we had this great tune, and I had no lyrics for it whatsoever. And there's this bloke in the pub, and the things he was saying were just completely surreal. And his name was Terry Waite. I can't believe it. That was his name, Terry Waite.
So it's not real. It's not really the Terry Waite's, the Archbishop of Canterbury's emissary or whatever they call him. It's this fellow that you met in the pub.
Yeah.
Do we believe this? Could it
stop for?
well, weird. I mean, I suppose it's quite possible you could substitute anybody really for Terry Waite, couldn't you? I mean, he's a fairly ordinary chap, isn't he?
Yeah.
As is evidenced by this song called Ziffer, Mark, which you brought in to play because there was some involvement on the last album, right? Was it a cover?
Nah, it's just somebody sent it me because it's Damo Suzuki's new record.
Right, but it's a German one, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, it's from Cologne. Yeah. It's a Cologne label, that.
And the band are called Dunkelziffer, and the album's called In the Night. I thought it was about time that we played something from Brix, because she would have been on before now if she'd have come, wouldn't she, really?
For sure. She just finished her LP, actually. It's really good.
She was going to bring some tracks along, wasn't she?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, well, perhaps she can come down by herself then in a couple of weeks' time. Maybe
that might be an idea, yeah.
And we'll do Bricks separately, as it were.
Well, I think they're not bringing it out till January, though, this LP, so...
Well, we might time it better, kind of hitting the market. But from some of the stuff that Bricks has said since she's been involved with the Fall, I mean, she seems to take a kind of different tack to the business than you do. I mean, there's certainly kind of specific things she wants out of the business, which is like different to you personally. I mean, is that why the Adult Net came about?
Not really. I mean, it was always the intention that she'd have her own group. It was only after we got married that I wanted her to be in the Fall. Yeah, she has got a different attitude altogether. Yeah. I mean, that's good. I've always tried to keep the Fall like that. I don't want everybody who agrees with me. That's the mainly the problem with a lot of Fall imitators. They just stuff the ranks with sort of people who've all got the same ideas, and that's how you get very stale, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got, the people I have in my group, they all got different tastes. They've got bands I wouldn't even be seen dead with that they like, And that's the, you got to have a bit of, like, artistic sort of friction there.
It's quite amusing that. So, like, you see bands breaking up and they usually quote, musical differences, but I mean, it's almost for a starter.
Got to have musical differences to join this group. Yeah. We don't want any Fall fans in this group. No, it's true. I think it sounds daft, but it's true.
I won't want to be a member of anybody who have me as a member of the club. That kind of Harpo Groucho Marx thing. Yeah. So, Brick, even from what Bricks has said about the Fall, I mean, she obviously seems to think that the Fall Paul are capable of selling, shifting more units, as it were, and is concerned about that more than you are, like how many records you sell and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't particularly worry me. I mean, it should do. Of course I get worried, but I try and not let it get in the way of like what I'm doing in writing and things.
But I mean, it's got to concern you. So how's the relationship with Beggar's Banquet? Because you've been there now. Where is it? Is it 3 or 4 albums?
Yeah, so this is the 3rd one. Yeah.
It's is it a record, as it were?
Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. They're all right, actually. Not bad at all.
Because I mean, lots of the companies you were with before, I mean, it was like
just complete odds with them.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the Fall being there was something. It's like Beggar's Banquet's like a business, and you just kind of is that right?
For sure, yeah. Their main thing seems to be to get top 40 stuff.
Yeah,
they seem to like having us because I suppose they can afford us, and it's good for them because I think we're like a notch on the credibility belt, etc. But I get a lot of freedom, I get more freedom than I did with Rough Trade, for instance.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising, is it?
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. I don't get any, little crapheads coming in, you can't say this and you can't say that on your records.
You can't say this about South Africa.
For sure, and all this, yeah. We used to get that a lot on independence. And also, independents have a policy of, I've always said this and I'll keep saying it, independents have a policy of making money for themselves and letting the band starve, Well, I think that's all wrong. I mean, like this independent chart they've rigged up now, where somebody like The Fall can't get an independent chart, but we do sell like about 9/10 of our records in independent shops.
Yeah.
But we can't go in because, of course, so we get independent charts now, and they're just, you've got people like New Order and Elvis Costello, and the rest of the charts are made up of people who sell like 30 records. It's disgusting, and it's all geared so that they can make money for themselves. You're heading for an American type situation, where you have bands that sell a few hundred records, and the only thing alternative to that is to sell 500,000. And I find it really amusing that the independent network would instigate something like that, as horrific as that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I don't think much has changed, has it, over the years? I mean, like, you talk about the ethic of, like, 10 years ago, like, doing it. But basically, people just want to be kind of instant stars, don't they?
For sure, yeah. And you're not telling me that people in the independent charts don't want to either. I mean, if a major label come along, of course they're going to jump onto it.
I mean, I get stuff sent.
It's all like very hypocritical. It's very British attitude, finance the losers. But what makes me laugh about these independent labels is that they're all walking around on good wages, and all the bands just about scuffing along.
Well, you got to suffer for your art, haven't you, Mark?
Well, according to the independent labels you have, they don't bleed and suffer for their art.
There isn't any.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I was almost surprised to see you playing that GMX thing a few weeks ago. Or was that kind of part of it? Do you just go along to see where it was see what the scam was?
Well, we got the pay was okay. And, I was surprised we were asked. Yeah, but I mean they had to ask us. You see. It was quite amusing to see that we were supposed to be part of that. I mean, we haven't been part of any of that stuff.
But, I mean, it would have been remarked upon if you'd not been there.
For sure, yeah.
In a way. I mean, how do you take all that kind of stuff that kind of has been rolling in this year, all this junk about, 10 years after and all this garbage?
It's all balderdash, I mean, it's...
I mean, I think it was right about that time. I think they did something on TV. And they showed some early Fall footage of
right, exactly. I mean, they wouldn't have shown that unless we were still going.
Yeah.
If we'd have died about 4 years ago, that wouldn't have been on.
But just watching that, actually, the Fall didn't actually seem much different at that stage in your attitude to many of the other bands who were around. Certainly, as it was coming across in those short clips we were actually seeing. In other words, you could have made 3 singles, couldn't you? And well, Mark's gone off to the loo or somewhere, wandered off anyway. That was Camper Van Beethoven and Take the Skinheads Bowling, which we were playing because I was reading something about Camper Van Beethoven. They said they were Fall influenced. I couldn't detect that, but they've probably got about a million other influences.
Half an hour of it, yeah.
It was good, wasn't it?
Fabulous. What gripping TV.
Yeah, we had our TV dinners there, and lots of little snacks and what have you.
I don't remember what we did. What did we do, Klaus? I think we just...
Well, he kept changing the channels.
Yeah, then we went out to the pub and I can't remember anything from them.
That seems fair enough, actually. We made the move at home of, once the kids are in bed, we'll settle down and have a look at this and have a look at the Radio Times. And so, what can we watch? Right, and it was like about 8:05, and I thought, there's some hip-hop stuff on here, so this should be good. DJ Cheese. Man, do you see that bit? Mantronic.
It was a good. That was the best bit.
But you couldn't hear the beats, could you?
No, that's it.
It's
like being on the Earl Grey whistle test. That's what it's like when you go there. Complete incompetence.
And then, so that was fairly disappointing. Then there was Morgan Khan on, and this other chap.
The glasses were flying though. That was quite interesting.
The what?
The glasses started flying.
Oh yes.
The lookalike contest.
The rock lookalike competition. I thought you might have gone in for that.
I love seeing Andy Kershaw flapping.
The what's his name? Is he actually do you know anything about Andy Kershaw, Fenny?
He's a Rochdale lad, isn't he?
I know he's a Rochdale lad, but
explains everything.
What's the fellow who used to be on Blue Peter?
John Noble.
Yeah, right. That's who he reminds me of. Yeah.
Well, I thought Andy Kershaw was going in for the John Noakes.
An old grey whistle test badge.
I thought he was going in for the John Noakes lookalike competition.
He's got a pretty good accent. Yeah, you had Telecution's lesson instead of doing that one.
Did he?
Hovis accent.
So that
just
was
like
fair.
we all talk up here, like.
Oh, aye.
Real butter.
But that was fairly enjoyable. The Rock Lookalikes competition. Truly embarrassing to actually get through.
I thought the Gong Show was much better.
The what show?
The Gong Show was better than that. Did you watch New Faces '86?
No, I didn't. No.
That was dynamic television, wasn't it?
Was it cracking?
Oh God.
You recommend
that
it?
comedian from Manchester. Oh my God. That's supposed to be funny.
There's worse things to do though. Sit at home and knock TV, isn't there? I mean, it's a fairly good.
What's that?
Well,
like what?
Well, Fenny does this all the time. He comes in and does a piece and kind of trashes what's been on TV.
Right, as well.
Criticism.
Yeah, it was.
Do you watch any daytime TV?
When I want to, yeah.
You know, like Fenny's fairly big fan of. Is it the Sullivans, Fen?
Yeah.
Sullivan's is good, and Rainbow's good as well. Rainbow's one of the best programmes on TV.
Fenny's Zippy's the fan club chairman of Zippy's fan club. Isn't that right, Fenny? And Young Doctors. How's about that?
Great. I like anything Australian. I still miss Bluey. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
What I find fantastic.
Full of social comments.
Great. Yeah. One time, Blue, the detective, you used to have the effeminate sidekick. Another time, Blue walks in the office and he's been hit over the head and he's got blood coming out of his head, right? And he goes, what's up, Blue? He says, I tried some hair dye out on my hair. What do you think?
Obviously gone out that night. He's gone about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Did he did a cabaret tour, Blue? From Manchester. Of Lancashire, did it? Anyway.
Well, I remember a few weeks ago, the children went to bed at home and me and Jan sat down and he said, what's on TV, right? Because he totally, mine's totally gone by then. And it was Return to Eden. Have you ever seen that?
No.
And our mouths dropped open in sheer wonderment. We couldn't actually, we were totally stultified for the first 5 minutes. We couldn't actually move to switch it over, but it was brilliant.
Was it?
Have you not seen this Return to Eden?
Australian, was it?
Have you seen that, Fenny?
No, I think I watched the first one when somebody got eaten by a crocodile or something.
Yeah, Return to, it's a must. It's a must, Mark.
I don't watch programmes from books written on computers.
Yeah. We got something else anyway, tuned up. British Grenadiers from the new album.
Mm-hmm.
Is this, sounds a bit like a bit of a jingoistic song from the title.
No, hell. It's combined with one of our songs. It's just like a verse of an old song I found, an old folk song.
Really?
Yeah, at the very end, called the British Grenadiers.
Because just listen to the album once right through. Lots of the stuff has got a lot of attacking, and this is placed at the end of the album, and it sounds very kind of downbeat at the end of the album. Was that purposefully putting it there?
Yeah, it's all very much tones and stuff, like we record it dead quiet and everything.
I was checking that on the pre-play.
Obscured vocals and everything.
Right, well, we shall listen to this in silence. British Grenadiers. Knitted brows. Well, that's the Swans Coward from the latest album on K422, and it's unfortunate that finished when it did, because we were just getting some real good gossip about the Swans and Sonic Youth. Is there anything we can say on here?
No.
They're nice people, fellow artists.
Yes.
Right?
You can tell they're artists, they look like they just crawled out of a privet edge.
And they've all got a great sense of humour.
Yeah, great sense of humour.
And they love British policemen and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's a shame, is that? I mean, we really should do 2 programmes, shouldn't we? One a kind of total gossip thing, you know, and and this a straight thing we're doing now. Right, the last one coming up now from the Falls' new album, which is called Bend
Sinister.
Bend Sinister. Bend Sinister.
Heraldic term.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
We knew that.
Has Klaus done the sleeve again?
Not for this one, no.
Have the edgy out then, Klaus? Is anything back? So we've got some heraldic devices on the sleeve then?
No.
Right, well that follows.
Maybe in the advert.
All right. So this last track, and then we'll have the results of this competition that we're running at the same time. But Dr. Faustus, which is a short track, but it's got this obvious fall riff on it. Yeah?
Yeah, one of Craig's standard ones. San Quentin type.
You can pick it out. And is this one of your literary inclinations? Is it Dr. Faustus, Marlowe, Goethe, and this?
In a way, I don't know, not really. Just me and the sort of wife sort of got together over this like really good sort of storybook I had, and it sort of came out from that.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Right. Let's play. Start now.
Okay. So Steve is experiencing a enlightenment phase here, where he won't play anything mentioning the devil.
Is that alright? Yeah, okay, we'll take it. And I think that was the right track, and before the next one starts, that's it. That's Dr. Faustus, the right track that time, Mark, from the album Bend Sinister, which is out, Mark, in...
about a week's time.
On Beggar's Banquet,
yeah,
as is per usual. Right, we've got the results of this phone-in competition. And Rolling Danny, the original version, Mark.
Gene
Vincent. A lot of his great stuff never played on radio anymore, isn't it? I think there ought to be all radio programmes doing kind of 50s obscure Elvis and Vincent and stuff like that, but there you go.
They do the rest of them, they don't do Vincent though. Vincent's, he's blacklisted in America, you see.
Really?
Yeah, well he punched a few DJs out in the 50s and they left his sort of...
But you don't hear, I mean...
No, you can say to American, you say, you know, they know Eddie Cochran.
Yeah.
Fats Domino, Jerry Lee and
yeah.
Elvis, but they don't know Jim Vincent.
Really? Yeah, but I mean, virtually the only 50s artist here with any regularity on radio is like Buddy Holly, it's always amazing how it cuts through and sounds wonderful, you know, compared to all the tosh that usually...
Yeah, lucky he died when he did.
He was doing some weird stuff anyway, I know that. Chris Holding from Manchester is the winner of the T-shirt. And we've got Dave Radnage in Darwin, Alison Ingham in Accrington, Den Dyson in Manchester get full 12 inches, Simon Scott in, I think it must be Southport, Sarah Champion in Manchester, Simon Tompkinson get adult net 12 inches. And the drummers, there were everybody, in fact everybody was answering the 2 questions that phoned in, except for the people who phoned in later on, Mark, so... I mean, do you want to go through a list of the full drummers, or is that too tedious for you?
Well, he's got it then, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So the guy who owns the T-shirt has got the drummers' names, has it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right, then, that's all right, then.
We're not going to let anything away, you're just going to have to buy some old full record.
Don't want to mention the names, they might be ringing up for money.
Is there any... is there any gigs lined up, Mark, in the Northwest, where people can come and see...
No, we're out touring November the 7th. From then, I think we're going to do Salford University. That's the only local one I know of yet.
Right, so we don't know.
We're weighing up a Manchester one.
Right, so if there's
Huddersfield we're doing as well, aren't we?
Right, so we'll give the dates anyway when they confirm, so people can get out to see them. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
And when you get home, you'll give our regards to Breaks.
For sure.
and make sure she's better soon, and we'll hopefully fix up for Bricks to come over and play the Adult Net album. How's that looking anyway? Is it looking good?
It's really good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
That's going to be out, as we say, in some time.
I think they're talking about December, January.
Yeah. She certainly ought to be out for Christmas, but there you go, make a good Christmas present. Thanks, Mark, for coming in anyway.
Pleasure.
And hopefully we'll be able to do something before the next album and not play any fall stuff at all. Do something like that. Sure, we'll fix that up.
Got a gossip programme, that'd be good.
A whole gossip programme. We'll tape it, that's what we'll do.
The info behind American college bands.
What we'll do
and
is...
their revolting habits.
What we'll do is we'll tape it and we'll edit all the boring pieces out and leave all the good pieces in instead of edit all the good pieces out. So thanks to Mark, and we'll hopefully see him back